Hey guys, what is going on? It is Chris here once again looking ahead to today's slate for the 26th of April. Hope you guys all had a pretty good weekend, watched some basketball and just, hung out and with the fam and everything like that. Yeah, like I said, we're looking at today's slate. We got a pretty big one out there today, as you see. I'm not going to count it, but as you see, a pretty big one. As normal, a lot of injuries to look at, so we will definitely get into that. So, anyway, once again, it was an absolute banger for us last night, top 1%. That is back-to-back nights with a top 1% finish. This was obviously on the 25th, which was, on the 24th. As you see here, absolutely killed it with a 376.1. People made a ton of money right here. So definitely, a good one for everybody. And then last night, once again, we followed it up, and yeah, we scored a 378.2. As you see here, one of our subs put in literally 184 bucks. That's it. And won 1,026 bucks. So definitely congrats to you, man. So that was a big one. Other people didn't bet as much, or bet differently, but still everybody did profit last night, as you see here. So like I said, we are on one right now. We'd love to have you guys come join us. I mean, literally, this is money for you guys that you're missing out on right now. Everybody's winning. Like I said, only $100. That is absolutely cheap. We are never ever like that, but that is where we are right now, since there's not a lot of time left in the season. Like I said, this does include playoffs. So yeah, hit us up. Like I said, 100 for the rest of the season with playoffs. Definitely love for you guys to come join us. Like I said, these are all subs absolutely killing it with the picks. So all you need to do, hit us up on our Twitter. That will be down there in the comment section below. Just click on that link right there, message us on Twitter, and we'll get you in right away. We can get you in on today's slate. So come join us. If you guys don't want to do the season pass, you guys can sign up for the month pass for 50. So that is what we got going on. Definitely come join us. Like I said, MLB is going strong as well. We won once again last night on MLB. I'm not sure if it won in tournaments, but definitely did profit in head-to-heads and 50-50s and stuff like that. So definitely another W for that, and message us to get in on that as well. All right, let's go get into it. We got Atlanta and Detroit in our first one. So as I mentioned in the last video, and I will continue to keep telling you guys, looks like there's a little bit of a trend going on with Detroit. Looks like their big boys sit every other game, so just keep that in mind. As normal, if the big guys do sit, like the Grants, the Plumleys, if they sit, got to look at Isaiah Stewart. He always steps up. Josh Jackson and maybe Killian Hayes. Those are the three to look at if everybody is out for Detroit once again. Atlanta, this is a back-to-back for these guys, so I don't mind looking at Kevin Herter at at only 5'9". Like I said, he is a pretty good scorer. If you get a couple extra rebounds and a one or two steals or block from him, he's easily going to get you 30, 35. So Herter's all right. Is he a must-have? Definitely not, but he's worth a consideration. Bogdanovich, he's playing out of his mind right now, but 7.5 is a little much for me to spend. But I don't mind going him in a couple GPPs because no one's going to have him. And that's mostly it there. So keep an eye on that Detroit side. Like I said, if they're all out, you know who to go for. OKC and Philly, this one here, this is going to be an interesting one here. Philly usually doesn't really release a ton of their injury news until like 10 to 15 minutes before lock, if that. So we might be scrambling a little bit right before lock because Embiid's questionable, Harris is questionable, Korkmaz is questionable. And like I said, if all those guys are out, they literally don't have anybody. I would expect maybe Milton to start. I mean, I don't know. They like him off the bench. Tyrese Maxey could start. Curry could start. I mean, if Maxey starts, if all those guys are out, then Maxey's in a pretty good spot. Danny Green could come into play. He's been terrible, but if those two guys are out, that's a ton of usage right there. I mean, I don't even know who else would really play. Mike Scott might start, but he's kind of trash. And then obviously you got Dwight Howard, the guy that could absolutely get ejected because he always gets technicals, looks like every single game. But if he doesn't get ejected, he could be half decent, as normal. So, yeah, man, I mean, this Philly game, this is a big question mark over here. So I don't really know who to play. All depends on the starting lineup for sure. San Antonio and Washington. Washington, man, they've been playing out of their mind. Westbrook wasn't too great last night. I was going to go play him Thankfully, I went to Brogdon instead, and then went up to Giannis. So that was a big plus because a ton of people did have Westbrook. Looking at Westbrook, don't mind him if he plays here on a back-to-back. He did play on the last back-to-back, so I am expecting him to play here. Um, I could see a bounce back. 11-2 is a little much, but I could see a bounce back here. Derek White, he's been on one as well at 5'8". I mean, this guy's pretty almost a lock here. So Derek White's in a very good spot. Neto kind of let us down. I didn't play him last night, but he definitely let us down a little bit there. Scored his normal points, but just didn't have any rebounds or assists. So a little bit of a letdown for him. Beal's a little much. Don't mind DeRozan in a wild card. Not really a wild card. GPP only just because he's burnt me so many times. He is a cash game play, but like I said, this guy easily could go get you 45, 50, or he could absolutely suck and go get you 25 points. It just depends on his shooting. This guy, he either go get you 25 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, which is awesome, or he goes out there, gets you 9 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. That's just how DeRozan is. So we'll have to see what kind of DeRozan shows up today. Daniel Gafford, man, he's been playing out of his mind. The last couple games, OKC didn't really do that great. But as you see, when this guy gets minutes, he's not bad. So I don't think we'll get any word. But if we get word, well, actually, it's a 7 o'clock game. If we get word for some reason Gafford is going to start, we'll have to see because they started Anthony Gill, and that didn't really work well. So if for some reason they give Gafford the start here, shoot, man, I'd put him in there at 5-1. I don't think a lot of people are going to have him, but definitely only if he starts there. Portal as normal. Like I said, every video, no one has this dude. Put him in there, 6'5". Solid cash gameplay. Lakers, Orlando, game that I'm not really into at all. I can't even name anyone that I care for, so probably going to skip over that game. I mean, I guess maybe Bacon, but yeah, not really. I played them last night, but in a lot better matchup. Lakers, pretty good defense, so not really feeling it. Phoenix and New York. Man, New York Knicks are on one right now. They're one of the hottest teams in the NBA, and Phoenix obviously is one of the better teams as well. So this one should be good. I don't know for fantasy-wise, but to watch it, I think it should be a pretty good one. I do think CP3 could show up in this game at very low ownership at 8.5. I think get you about 45 in this one. So one of my low-key good point guards that I'm liking. We got D Rose at 5'8". Another guy that's been playing good. We'll have to see though. CP3 is a pretty good defender. I don't really have any of these Knicks. One guy that I do like is Reggie Bullock. He's been looking pretty good, and like I said, this guy plays massive minutes, and he's only 4K. So, got to put him in there. Get you 20-24. At 4,000. I like that. Booker's only at 8,000. I think he could be worth a look as well. Kind of been up and down recently. But yeah, like I said, the only thing I'm worried about is that total. I just don't think it's going to be that good of a fantasy point game. I think it could be a good game overall, but a little worried about fantasy points in this one. So Randall's a little much in this matchup at 10-1. So yeah, Paul in a couple of GPPs and probably Reggie Bullock and maybe Booker, but overall not a ton fantasy wise, but definitely a good game to watch overall. Cleveland, Toronto, this one should be good. So back to back for Cleveland. I told you guys I didn't put him in there, but I told you guys about Garland, and if you put him in there, he did pretty good for you at only 7.6. Had 43.3. Sexton looks like he's going to be out for a couple games, so got to put him back in there. Moving on to that Toronto side, Fred VanVleet at 7.3. I know he hasn't really been that great, hasn't played a ton of games, but yeah, man, 7.3 against Cleveland here. I think that's way too cheap. Easily gets you at minimum 38 to 40, 45 at 7.3. We saw this guy; he's at up to 8 to 9,000. So Fred at 7.3 is almost a lock here. We'll have to see what they do with Kevin Love. I do not expect him to play here in a back-to-back. So if Larry Nance does start, shoot, man, I mean, I don't mind putting Larry Nance in there. He has not been starting, so he hasn't been doing crazy good, but if he starts, he's going to get you 30, 35 minutes, plus they really don't have a ton of bigs right now, so I could see Larry getting you 25, 30, maybe even 35 if we're lucky, so don't mind putting in Larry, only if he starts in this one. I was telling you guys about Chetty. I didn't know if he was going to play or not, but I told you if he started, I liked him, and I put him in there, right? He was honestly a surprise start. But I was like, heck yeah, man, 3,500, I'll put him back in there. So he should start again in this one. I don't mind putting in Chetty. He's going to have a lot more ownership tonight because everyone saw what he did last night, so keep that one in mind. But still don't mind looking at Chetty Osman. Um, yeah, man. I mean, OG, Siakam, all these Toronto guys are in play. Cleveland's not a good defense, so I don't mind putting him in there. And Jared Allen, my man, showed up last night with a 56-4. I put him in there because I needed someone cheap, but man, I was not expecting that, but I'll take it. Tonight, 30, 35. He's an okay play, but I think you're definitely chasing points if you go that way. That was his first good game in quite a while. Chicago, Miami. So Chicago was absolutely getting their butt kicked, but they fought their way almost back into that game the last time they played. So um, yeah, nothing too crazy. I guess you can look at Jimmy. Bam at 8.5 is a little cheap. You could look at him. Um, Depending on if Chicago keeps it close or not. I don't think anyone will have him at 8.5. It's pretty reasonable, but honestly, that's really it. Moving on, Clippers, New Orleans as normal. Leonard's out, so Paul. I don't like spending 10K for him, but he's on one right now, and at 10K against New Orleans, I got to put him in there at 10,000. Another guy that's been half decent, Reggie Jackson at 6,000. I don't mind putting him in there either. I think get you 32 to 35 in this one. Very solid spot for him. Moving on to the shooting guard position. Um, GPP only. Don't really have any of these guys. Morris is playing okay, but 6'1's a little much. And that's really it. So I'm looking at Paul George and Reggie Jackson are the two I'm looking at. And then obviously Zion and Ingram are GPPs. As I mentioned before, Ingram does get quite a bit of points. He scores a lot per game, but just doesn't get enough rebounds and assists and blocks for him to really help out his price tag. And then Zion's at 9.7. I just don't really want to pay for him in this matchup. But could I see him going off? Yeah, I definitely could for sure. So if you're doing a couple lineups, maybe put him in there. But he's not cheap. Utah, Minnesota. As I told you guys, if this game did stay close, I think Utah could definitely hit value. And that definitely did happen here. So I wouldn't be surprised, / I hope Minnesota keeps in this game again, because if so, it's going to keep these Utah guys out there. So once again, I don't mind going, 2 or 3 of these Utah guys, Mike Conley, Clarkson. Those two are the main guys to look at. Don't mind going to Joe Ingles, even though he absolutely sucked with the 12. But it's DFS, daily fantasy. Got to go back to the grind with him. Another guy that's always up and down. Bogdanovich had a good one against Minnesota, so both those guys are worth a look. If you want to save a little salary, I guess go Bogdanovich, but that guy always has up and down games as well. Rudy Gobert at 8-1, another guy that doesn't get a ton of ownership, had a bad one against Minnesota. Still had 17 rebounds, dude had 5 turnovers, so I could see another 40-45 bomb from him. He's all right, nothing too crazy in that one. Memphis and Denver. Oh, also Anthony Edwards, GPP only. Dude went off last game, but he had 5 steals. Memphis, Denver. So honestly, Memphis is playing pretty good, and they're fighting right now. Especially Ja Morant. This dude's fighting right now. It's about the end of the season. They're trying to get in there, fight as much as they can. Ja Morant at 7-9. I'm liking him. He just had 71 against Denver just a couple days ago. 61 of 44 at 7-9. I mean, put him in there, man. Denver right now, as we know, they're really banged up, so I think Memphis could stay in this game pretty well. Monte Morris, I'll have to see what he does. If he doesn't play, I don't mind even looking at PJ Dozier once again at 4.6. 4.6 is pretty cheap for him. He's been playing pretty well, and his offense showed up against Houston. Obviously, Houston sucks. But even against Memphis, had 37 minutes, 10-5, 5-1, had 23. Don't mind looking at Dozier in a couple. In this one, Porter at 7.4, pretty dang reasonable as well. And Jokic, like I said, man, it seems like he's had a lot on the plate for him, right? And it looks like it's getting to him a little bit here at the end of the season. The last couple games, He hasn't really been crazy good. Obviously, right before then, he's out of his mind. This guy is one of the best players in the league. Anything can happen. So 11-4 is a little much, but it is Nikola Jokic. Duke can go off at any moment. So I don't mind targeting a couple in that game for sure. Last but not least, we have Dallas and Sacramento. So I do not expect Luka to play in this game. I don't think we'll get word on him because it is a late game. But he's having a little bit of elbow issues. This is literally what they've played a ton. They played on the 21st, 22nd, off day, played on the 24th. So these guys have been playing quite a bit recently. I wouldn't be surprised if Carlisle gave him a rest here. If he does rest, Brunson does come into play as normal, kind of like DeRozan, right? Not as good as a player, but dude either going to go get you 30, 35, 40, absolutely break out and do really good for you, or he's going to absolutely suck and get you 17, 18. We'll just have to see in this one. But if Luke is out, give him a look. Once again, don't mind looking at Tyrese Halliburton. Oh, my bad. Buddy Hield didn't look too bad either. He's okay in this matchup. Finney Smith at 5'5". It looks like his points are going up a little recently. Give him a look, but I hate paying that much for Finney. Josh Richardson, Porzingis, both questionable. So this one, I just don't have enough on this one to really tell you who to pick. But I mean, if they're all out and Maxey, I guess got to look at Dwight Powell or Willie. It looks like they're going to go with Powell, I guess. I don't know. It's really hard to tell who they're going to play. So that's a little wild card there. So yeah, man, Dallas is definitely GPP right now. Don't really know who to pick, so we'll have to see later on if we get any word on them. Harrison Barnes 7K is a little much in this matchup. Oh man, all right, let's go get into it here. So 7-9, I really do like John Morant. Garland is looking good at 7-6 as well. Mike Conley, Reggie Jackson. I'd probably go pick Derek White over Reggie in this one. But that's who we're looking at there, those guys that I just mentioned. Let me see. Shooting guards, got to look at Paul. Fred VanVleet's really looking nice. Halberton, Clarkson. I like both those guys. It's honestly a toss-up. So whoever you're feeling, to be honest with you. And I will only mention it one time because I know I said it a ton last time. If all those guys are out for Detroit, the Grants, the Plumlees, I really don't mind looking at Josh Jackson, Killian Hayes, and Isaiah Stewart. So I'm not going to put them in here, but those guys are almost a lock for sure if those guys are out. All right, moving on to the small forward position. Porter, I love him at 7'4". Jingle and Joe, Bogdanovich, those three I'm looking at. And then obviously whatever's going on with the 76ers, maybe Maxey. I don't even know who would really start over there. Just got to look at the starting lineup there for the 76ers, maybe even Curry. Power forward, Siakam. Stewart, Larry Nance, Cam Birch. That's kind of what I'm looking at there. Like I said, only like Nance if he starts. And then centers, Jokic, obviously a good play, but I don't know if I can get him in here in this one. Jacob Portal, got to look at him. Dwight Howard, like I said, hopefully he doesn't get an ejection. But he's in play if Joel Embiid is out, and that's mostly what we're looking at in that area. So overall, should be another good high scoring night. Got to look at the injuries for sure and see how those pan out. But overall, should be a good, another good one here tonight. Once again, we'd love to have you guys come join us. As you guys have been seeing the last couple of videos, even the last week and a half, we have been absolutely killing in NBA right now. And like I said, only $100 for the rest of the season or $50 for a month. We even have a week plan available for you guys as well if you want to try it out. But like I said, we have been on it. Just been killing it. Would love to have you guys come join us. Check us out on our Twitter. That is down there in the comment section below. Click that link, message us, with whatever plan you want to get in on, and we'll help you guys out. Like I said, back-to-back nights with a top 1% finish. Like I said, MLB, as well, cashed in 50-50s and head-to-heads and a couple double ups and stuff like that. So um, both sports honestly have been killing it. So get in. We'd love to have you. Like I said, I know I seem a little hyped about it. It's just because we're definitely feeling it right now. So would love for you guys to come join us and win with us, and have the feeling. So that is it. Once again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. A little bit longer video than normal, but it was a pretty massive slate out there. So if you like it, leave a like and also hit that sub button as well. All right, guys. See you guys a little bit later on. Hopefully, you guys win some money tonight as well.